Hi, my name is Anna, and I'll be presenting my research project, Positive Previous Experience Effect in the Agonistic Behavior Among Non-Estimates of Dinoponera gigantea ants. The interspecific competition is one of the main factors that builds the population structure of ant society. The interactions between individuals are based on social recognition that occurs during antennation when an ant compares its cuticular hydrocarbons with another's and can define if the opponent is part of the colony or not. To respond or not in an aggressive way in presence of a non-estimate is due to a decision-maker linear. Different colonies have different proportions of hydrocarbons in their individual cuticula. That is because of the environment where the colony is placed and also the individual synthesis that is shared among the ants through the interactions between them. If the differences are too big among the opponents, it can lead to an agonistic behavior representing that these differences are higher than the decision-maker linear. It has been shown in bumblebees that when provided with sucrose solution, the social insects presented attenuation of response to an artificial predator, coming back to their foraging activities in less time than those provided with just water. Research shows that individuals are stimulated by the captive of prey to continue coming back foraging. In the Dinoponera quadriceps, this positive self-feedback is shown to increase the frequency of travels and decrease the time intervals between them. In ants, the individual decision-making related to aggression has an important role to surviving. Previous experience, positive or negative, could modify general aspects in the behavior and have influence in other contexts as non-estimate encounters. Our objectives with this project were to test if the positive emotion-like state is capable of modulating aggressive behavior answer between non-estimates workers during foraging, and also to understand how positive previous experience affects the agonistic behavior between non-estimates. For that, we made tests with forager ants of the species Dinoponera gigantea collected in Bragança, Pará, identified with colors and kept in our lab. Each individual participated in only one test. The individuals were submitted to their daily foraging routine, and half were provided with a cricket. Then, dyadic encounters were performed between heterocolonial foragers exposed to different treatments. Tests were performed between ants not provided with prey, between ants provided and not provided with prey, and between ants not provided with prey. The encounters were filmed and analyzed in the software bodies. The behavioral categories of interest were antennation, in which one ant touches another ant's body with the antenna, mandible apprehension, in which one ant holds the mandible of another's with its own, transport attempt, in which one ant grabs another and tries to hold up, dragging it, antennal boxing, in which one ant touches quickly and rhythmically another ant's body with the antenna, threat, in which one ant keeps the mandible open towards the opponent, bite, in which one ant closes the mandible at the opponent's body, and sting, in which one ant stings the opponent's body. To calculate the aggression index, we attributed one value from 0 to 4 to each behavior category. The aggression index were calculated by the sum of each behavior duration multiplied by its attributed value divided by the total behavior's durations. At the beginning, we expected that, as in bumblebees, our results would suggest that with the modification of internal states, by foraging success, a positive response would be observed in agonistic encounters, reflecting in a less aggressive behavior when compared with individuals that haven't had their internal state modified. This graphic shows the proportions of the behaviors observed for each type of test, considering both individuals. Here at the right, we have the proportions of each behavior divided between individual A in dark gray, individual B in bright gray, and both in blue, when they performed the behavior simultaneously. Among the tests, only the one performed between individuals not provided with prey had significant difference between ants A and B. However, we can consider this data since the individuals were selected as A or B randomly. The behaviors attenuation, mandible apprehension, antennal boxing, and transport attempt had not shown significant difference at the duration performed by each individual. Neither had the behaviors sting and the total duration of the interactions. Threat had a significant difference between ants A and B for the test performed between individuals not provided with prey. However, as in aggression index, we can't consider this data since the individuals were selected as A or B randomly. For bite, although, we can consider the difference between ants A and B for the test performed between individuals provided with prey and not provided, in which the successful ants in foraging had bigger means. We didn't find aggression index modulation by the modification of the internal states to a positive emotion-like state. Nevertheless, we don't exclude the possibility that there is behavioral modification when we positively alter the internal states of these individuals, as shown for the behavior bite. These are the references mentioned in this presentation. This project was founded by the Unified Scholarship Program of University of São Paulo. And my special thanks to my mentor, Ronara Chaline, and all members of LACE Lab. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your attention.